Hello Stampers! I've got a little soft spring card for you today, and what I mean by soft is that you've got this easy to do soft background that we put in, and then we put some tulips in front that just pop. So we're going to do this project today. We're going to start with our Flowering Rain Boots stamp set. It has these great tulips that you can make them any color because they're easy, because the leaves and the stems are one stamp and then the flower part is another stamp, and so you don't have to worry about like coloring. If it was all one image, you'd have to worry about coloring the leaves one color and then the flowers the other. So they're two different images, so it makes it perfect to use for this type of card. So that is the Flowering Rain Boots, and then I pulled in the sentiment Just For You, which is perfect for about any card, right? It's unisex and about any occasion. So that came out of the new Celebrating You stamp set from Stampin' Up. Look at all these sentiments in it. So this is a really nice set to pick up. So we have that, and we're going to get going with our main panel. And I think you're going to like how fun this is. This is a great project to do. We're going to be using the plastic wrap technique to get that soft background. So I'm going to start with a piece of plastic wrap, you know, just any like Reynolds wrap you have. It doesn't have to be Reynolds wrap, it could be any generic plastic wrap. So I put it in a ball, and we're going to use this, and we're going to pounce it on our stamp pad and then pounce it on our cardstock here. And I have a piece of cardstock that is 3 by 3.5, and it's basic white, and we're going to be using it portrait, so it's longer than it is wider. So the 3.5 length is this way and 3 is that way. So we're going to pounce this all over our sky area here. We're going to go down about 2/3 of the way, and see what a nice soft background this is creating. And you can turn your plastic wrap different ways occasionally so you don't get a repeat pattern. So there is that. And then for the water, we're going to take our plastic wrap, we're going to pat it on our pad, and then I want to go back and forth motion with this a bit. It's still soft, but it gives you another look like it's water. And that's after we pounce some of that on there. Okay, so there's our sky and our water, and we're going to put a little mountain in here too. So I'm going to pull out Pacific Point for that. And I'm going to take my plastic wrap and I'm going to unfold it here a little bit and then wad it back up. I do that so that you don't end up with a big flat side on it. So I have it back in a ball, and I need a post-it note for this. I have a 3 by 5 post-it note, and in the bottom of it I'm just going to make like a hill shape. Doesn't have to be a big hill shape, and so I just tore that off. I have the sticky part up here, and I'm going to put it in on our water here, above our water. There we go. So our water is like right here, and then I have my hill shape in the sky area. But first, let's put on another post-it note across our panel here. And I like to line these post-it notes if I want a straight edge across here. I line my post-it note up with like the left side. So I have the left side going here, and now I just have this mountain shape that I want to put in. Now you can make your mountain as tall, I mean it could be like a slight hill. It's entirely up to you. There we go. I kind of want my mountain to be like this size. And then you're going to pounce Pacific Point ink in your mountain shape. How easy this is. It's just pouncing along here. All right, so you can peek underneath and see that you have your hill shape. So we're going to take these Post-it notes off. That's all we needed our mask for. So there is our hill shape. All right, so now we've got some flowers to put in. And I am going to stamp my little leafy stem stamp from the Flowering Rain Boot stamp set at the bottom of this panel. So there's one, and two. You can add another if you'd like. So there's that, and that was done in Granny Apple Green. And then I'm going to stamp the tulips themselves in Cajun Craze. It took me a couple times practicing on scrap paper to come up with the color combination that I wanted. So I come up with Cajun Craze, and I love how these match right up with the stems. I came up with Cajun Craze and Daffodil Delight for our flowers, and I think it pops really nice against this soft background. Okay, just one more bit here. Here we go. I'm going to let that dry just for a second. And in the meantime, I'm going to take Granny Apple Green and a blending brush, and I'm going to add this right over these stems and leaves, so I don't have to do any coloring. I'm just really coloring them in with the blending brush, and plus it gives you like a grassy looking area. Here we go. So that was Granny Apple Green. And then I'm going to take a dark Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blend marker, and I'm going to color over these flowers, okay, to get that second color. And this really is what makes them really bright and pretty in the scene, is this Daffodil Delight added over that Cajun Craze. I'm coloring over the entire flower, and that makes that Cajun Craze a bit more on the bright side, not so dark. So see how they just pop. Okay, so there is our scene there. And then I want to do one last thing, is I'm going to take some Mossy Meadow and a blending brush, and I'm just going to scrape it along the edge of this panel all the way around, just to get a nice color on that edge. That saves you from doing another, like I could have put a Mossy Meadow panel behind it, but this is a much more cost-effective way to get that color without the weight, the added weight and bulk of another panel. So there we have that. That was easy to do. And then I'm going to stamp my sentiment in that Mossy Meadow also. And that's going to go right above my flowers here on the right side. And this says just for you, and it came out of the Celebrating You stamp set. And I need to bring this closer to me so I can see what I'm doing. And there is our sentiment. So that is complete. Now we're ready to start putting our card together. And I have a Balmy Blue card base here. It's 5.5 by 8.5, and then it's folded in half, and all the dimensions for these panels are down below this video. Just click show more and they're all down there along with all the product links also. So here is our card base, and then inside I added a 4 by 5.25 Cajun Craze panel and a Balmy Blue panel that's 3.75 by 5. And for our front of our card, I have another 4 by 5.25 Cajun Craze panel, and I have 2 strips of paper, and this paper is from the Neutrals Designer Series paper pack. That's a 6 by 6, has all the great neutral colors in it, and these strips are just a 1/2 inch by 3.75, and we're going to glue these on our panel. You use whatever adhesive you want. I'm using my multi-purpose glue, and this is the Mossy Meadow Designer Series paper out of that pack, and I like this kind of dotted side. You could probably use any of them, but I'm going to add 1 strip to the bottom of this Cajun Craze panel and 1 to the top. Here we go, and then this goes right in the center of those 2. I just love the way those tulips pop. It really makes me happy. There we go. And then I'm going to add some Whisper White crinkle ribbon. I'm just going to tack this to the back of the left side of the panel using mini glue dots, just to tack those ends down to the back. 1 dot per end seems to hold very well. These are some strong dots. You can adjust it in front, and then it's going to go on our card front. Add some love. There we go. Isn't that fun? I just love the way that those turn out against that background. Okay, so we need a bow. So I'm going to take a length of ribbon here. You can just slide it under the first one and then tie her in a bow. Give yourself a good piece of ribbon to work with. There we go. And then I just make the loop smaller to the size I want. Trim the little legs. There we go. This is probably what takes me the longest, is fussing with my little bow there. Okay, so there's your card all finished. I hope you enjoyed this project and you give it a try. Thanks for joining me. Bye.